dear hearts. So it's the 12th of September 2025, and we have tonight, tomorrow night, and also the 14th night, and even on the 15th throughout the day to receive the blessings of the Rishi Stars. I've been on the road, so it's been quite difficult to get in touch and do a lot of different discussions regarding everything that's going on, but I really wanted to express that make sure you drink water that's been exposed to the night sky, or bathe in water that's been exposed to the night sky. Give it to your pets, give it to, your fields, the insects. It really is medicinal, this incredible phenomena, which is the Rishi Stars, the Sapta Rishi Stars, the 7 sages, which happens once a year, opens up that healing medicinal portal for everyone. Is incredible that it's taking place right now during the in-between eclipse period. So let's maximize that, and let's also make the aspirations that we can also heal the waters of this earth, and continue to, for those that are already doing that, which includes all the beings that are protecting the water element, that are linked to the water element. So you can imagine all that is protecting our oceans, our seas, all that is protecting the springs, all that is, protecting rain, every form of water on this earth, within and throughout. So honoring those beings. And in Sanskrit, the word would be, a certain class of being would be the Nagas. And in ancient Greece, we've had many races of Nagas, which are half serpentine, half human looking. And they weren't classified under one name in ancient Greece, for example, just to give you a bit of a parallel. They had different castes, so they were basically under the family or throne of the caste of a certain half serpentine, half human looking being or creature. So for example, the Kepskropsian, from the ancient Athenian realm, pre the goddess Athena taking over, in fact being handed Athens to be hers, through winning a divine contest. Prior to that, it was actually run by a caste, a royal caste of half serpentine, half human race of beings, and they were actually also involved in a lot of other family lines throughout ancient Greece. So I'm just giving you that parallel, but the word in Sanskrit in its totality for that kind of being or entity is Naga, and it's one of the beings that does protect and work with the oceans, the seas, especially springs, and they dwell near certain bodies of water. Still water also is such an important area of their dwelling. So anyway, there are many different types of beings and classes of beings that protect water, so it's good to honor them and respect them for the work that they're doing, whether it be in our skies, below the earth, in between atmospherically. We have to protect and care for and help the water. It's really important to do that. Okay, so on that note, from my own field work and work that I'm doing for the Enlightened Lineages, I just wanted to talk to you about some interesting facts, very, very important facts that are about, all of what's taking place regarding the worldwide issues with water, and how this keeps popping up. And I have mentioned in all of the astrological readings and talks that I've done throughout the years, that as Neptune shifts into Aries, departs from Pisces, Saturn goes into Aries, Pluto and Uranus go into the air signs of Aquarius and Gemini, the dangers around water will be very swollen and evident and affected. And the Saturn in Pisces, previous 3-year trail of energy, as well as Neptune being there too, expose the hardships around the water element in a way that we could, respect and say, okay, yes, there are issues. But now it's coming to a point where we've got to all kind of understand the risks, because it's not easy to, I guess, understand when we don't have access to the places where the issues are. But just hearing about it, you'll get to understand the bigger issue. Because when you're living in cities, you're receiving the water from a deposit. The rest of the universe, in the earth we dwell in, is receiving water from water sources in different, parts of the earth. So we can't say that everything is a city. This whole earth is not just a city. There's villages, there's mountains, there's, so much. There's seasides, right? So all the different water deposits and places where water is received throughout this whole earth is quite important, right? It's quite important. So why I'm saying this is city dwellers have to understand the water sources, where they are, and pay respect to those, and do whatever's needed to make sure those are clean and always bountiful, helping the people in the cities, right? And in the villages it's the same thing. Water sources have to be protected and kept clean. And a lot of the catastrophes that are happening is, we have a lot of need for meat. Another reason why meat isn't as fun anymore to eat and consume, because it is really becoming more about mass consumption. So then, the animals, not doing it on purpose, they rampage and destroy the water supplies, because their feces are all over the hills and everywhere, especially if they're, roaming around in open places. In Europe you'll see this a lot, and it does contaminate the natural flora and fauna, as well as the water sources. You should see what's happening in Spain with the high consumption of eating meat of pig, and how that's destroying the water sources. But just to give you a bit of an understanding, in Greece, okay, in some places, especially the hotter regions, like in the south, far south, like Crete, and many others, not just Crete, you can really look at things microscopically, or you can understand generally what's going on. So I'm going to tell you generally what's going on. Shortage of water. So much has dried up. The land has dried up. So much has become kind of shockingly damaged because of the scorching heat, but also atmospherically, what's in the atmosphere, okay? When we talk about the water supplies, because of that scorching heat and atmospherically what's been just drying up everything, all right? That particular issue now has gotten to the point where people are actually making money from the storages of water that they have privately. So the issue is there are many people that come to profit from Crete as an island. Just giving you an example. They build their villas, right, in places where the water doesn't pump upwards. So to receive water supplies is really complicated. But they build their villas, they need the water, depletes the general water source because of all the, touristic resorts and so on that get built, depletes the local water resource, and then additional water is needed, right? Because there isn't enough to supply for everyone. Sometimes there are water strikes for over a month, which is a problem, which has happened over the course of quite a few years. So what happens now? People have their own water supplies, a lot of people, and they sell it. So water is becoming something you can actually sell, like gold. Imagine not drinkable water sold for €1 a litre. Do you understand what I'm trying to tell you? Imagine 1 ton. So people are doing this in many places in Greece. And there is water. We have water in places like Greece, but we also don't, because there isn't enough control on what gets built, on the, demand of, people's interests to be extravagant, but not understand that nature can't support that. So we have to really take care of the water. And because of this healing Rishi Stars chance, and being in between eclipses, I just wanted to stress on this information and send you all my love and blessings, and I'll be in touch. Had some sudden on the road commitments, but it's going well. A lot of work, a lot of activity, but that's why we get birthed, right? We all have our personal commitment to the whole. So very grateful to be doing all this, and love you all very much. Please, let's take care of the water.